Finding his grave this fast feels very strange. I had been looking forward to browsing an array of other headstones to see who he has for neighbors and for how long in the ground, and why so young or how old. What? It's him, standing in the pale blue light there next to that oak-shadowed marble crypt. And he's still wearing the same suit and tie, and that same smile that can enchant a rose. And he's beckoning me to come closer. I've been waiting patiently. How are you? Right, that's just my subconscious mind speaking. Right, it's just your subconscious mind speaking. So how can little Joe be standing here? I'm thinking some sort of ocular glitch? Nope, wrong. It's me. Just keep it to yourself. Right, I'd lose my airline transport license. Thanks for dropping by. How the hell are you? Sorry for the pun. How long can you stay? This scene is built on a series of structural collisions, classical poetic forms, micro-adjusted diction, and competing narrative motifs. These elements combine to present two incompatible realities, a literal haunting and a psychological projection, without providing the textual evidence to rule either one out. The opening establishes a traditional graveyard atmosphere, placing the narrator near an oak-shadowed marble crypt bathed in pale blue light, utilizes Victorian and Gothic influences to build a solemn environment. This atmosphere is reinforced by the poem's meter. Written in blank verse, the unrhymed iambic structure provides a formal historical foundation for the narrative. In lines 7 through 9, repeating "and" accelerates the rhythm. As pacing quickens, phonetic choices soften. Notice the soft vowels in the "smile that can enchant a rose." This deliberate softness constructs a romanticized subject, subverting expectations of a terrifying figure. The author uses these classical mechanics to ground the reader in a standard Gothic haunting before introducing more modern disruptions. Achieving this specific tone required exact calibration, as seen in the author's primary edit logs. This timeline tracks line 7's evolution. The October draft features a shiny new crypt, carrying a commercial connotation. By December, it shifted to slippery new, lacking physical weight. It finally resolves to oak-shadowed marble crypt. Shadows over cold material establishes Gothic realism. Without these rigorous adjustments to the vocabulary, the visual imagery risked becoming cartoonish, making the subsequent encounter harder for a reader to accept as a possibility. Once that realism is secured, the poem introduces a sharp departure into modern, casual vernacular through the narrator's internal monologue and dialogue. We see this technique refined in the edit history. The drafted phrase "eye headache" was swapped out for the finalized ocular glitch. The term ocular glitch introduces a modern, technological anxiety directly into the supernatural setting. The narrator follows this by worrying about losing an airline transport license. This bureaucratic concern creates a grounding reality that stands in opposition to the presence of a ghost. Peer reviewer Kevin notes how the contrast between the ghost's formal attire and this bureaucratic warning creates a disorienting atmosphere for the reader. The poem derives its surrealism from this jarring juxtaposition, ancient, sublime ghosts trying to converse with modern occupational hazards. These clashing elements create intentional ambiguity. The text is designed to support two distinct, simultaneous interpretations of the event. The first interpretation is a literal entity. The narrator verifies the ghost stands in the light. Reviewer Tate Liu notes the ghost beckons and speaks. Conversely, the text supports a psychological projection. The narrator rationalizes the encounter as an ocular glitch. The poem avoids any physical action, like the ghost moving an object or making physical contact, that would definitively prove a haunting occurred outside the narrator's mind. Because the evidence is balanced, the literal and the psychological possibilities remain equally valid for the reader. A graveyard guest maintains its tension through the collision between the Gothic sublime and the modern mundane. This mapping shows the duality at work. Historical motifs are consistently undercut by bureaucratic dialogue and rationalizations. Attempting to select a single correct interpretation overlooks the way the text is engineered. The design forces the reader to hold both possibilities at once. The author's tracking of diction, adjusting the weight of the imagery and the precision of the dialogue, was used to maintain this tone throughout. The final line, "How long can you stay?" ensures the ambiguity remains unresolved as the poem ends. Ultimately, the poem offers no narrative tie-up or physical proof, leaving the reader to decide whether they have witnessed a ghost or a mind under pressure.